surface level entertainment.
Because, bro, this is my theory, and believe it, conspiracy or not, personally, I felt it's more to keep people poor. If we can keep you distracted on one thing, yeah, we can monopolize on a lot.
True.
Essential stuff.
True.
Disclaimer.
So what up, guys? Welcome back. My name is Luke, and yes, guys, welcome back to Primal Spirit Distillery. And as always,
welcome, people. If you're here, do the right thing. Hit the like, subscribe button, get notified, follow Primal Spirit Distillery, follow Luke M. And I don't need an introduction. If you're new to the channel, then maybe I do. I'm Chris, but
you already know that. Hey, bro, I know it by now. Yeah. So yes, guys, today, bro, what are we reacting to?
So there's this video about a company that owns everything regarding media, right? That's what the caption says. They're like the monopoly man in terms of media.
Okay.
Yeah, they own DSTV, News 24. I don't even know.
Like all South African companies.
Pretty much. It's a South African media company. And
Okay.
it's like a big player in the media space.
Okay.
Yeah. So I wanted to see what you think about that and how possibly it affects like independent creatives like, you know, Table Talk and all these other dudes.
Okay, that's very interesting. Geez, monopoly.
Yeah, man.
Isn't it monopoly? It thrives better in a free economy. Geez. Okay, my only problem, the fact that it widens the gap between the rich and the poor, and it widens it very much and very fast. There's literally a huge distinction. That's my only problem.
And that's the problem we're facing now, bro. We are the most unequal country in the whole world.
Really?
Yeah.
Jeez, for
We're
real?
the most unequal country in the whole world in terms of the wealth gap. It's bad. Like there's nowhere on earth that is as unequal as, forget South Africa, Joburg.
Just Joburg itself.
Yep. You have extremes, like you've got extreme riches
Yeah.
and extreme poverty all existing in one city. Yeah. So
Jeez.
it's crazy, bro.
Okay, geez, I'm actually looking at it now. I've never really looked into it. I mean, I didn't know
It's
that.
bad. It's bad. Look at Alex and Santon, for example. Let's make that example.
Oh, yes.
The
Yes.
richest square mile in Africa is Santon. 2 streets down, you've got Alex.
The poorest. Okay, I don't know the poorest, but it's poor.
Yeah, but compare, bro. You can't even compare those two. The average household in Alex, if you had to compare how much they survive on a monthly basis and compare it with the mega corporation like Sasol,
Yeah.
it's a drop in the ocean, bro, how much that house survives on versus how much money Sasol has.
Really?
And that's just one of many businesses in Santon, basically. Headquartered there, bro.
Yes, bro.
It's
That's
scary, bro. The
crazy.
Joburg Stock Exchange is there, bro. The biggest and probably the most successful stock exchange on the whole continent is right there, and probably just 2 streets down.
Oh, jeez. Okay. Wow. Okay, this is frightening, yeah? Bro, you see the whole thing of monopoly and stuff like that, and how when a few individuals get to control the economy, literally affects everyone else, because somehow everyone's livelihood is dependent on this too. You know,
sure,
these few individuals. It's a monopoly. It's like we cover every sector there is, and we've taken over. Because, bro, how does one company own everything?
One media house, bro.
Yeah, like literally controls everything. That's not good. And okay, let's not go a bit deep on the racial part, because it gets worse.
It gets ugly.
It gets dark.
It gets very
if we have to look at the racial part.
Oh, it gets really ugly, because then you realize that that game of power has never really shifted any gears, right?
Even though it was, independence.
No, bro, that was political independence, nothing else. It wasn't financial, it wasn't, as far as I'm concerned, not really. Political independence, like, yes, you can govern the country. However, the money, the infrastructure, the media, the music, everything else,
We control.
we never got none of that, bro.
But what's the point though?
freedom,
It
bro.
was as if you're just getting a structure and you're not getting the furnitures and everything else in it.
Exactly. You're getting the skeleton,
Yeah.
and it's kind of like they dangle a carrot in front of you and say, "Hey, here's this thing that you can have," and then you're like, "Yeah, I want it." Then they give you a plastic carrot instead.
Yeah. Now we're busy chewing on fake carrots
Chewing on fake
with
carrots.
sponges.
Imagine BBL carrots, bro.
Bro. So it's crazy. But anyways, guys, let's get into the video, yeah?
The phone instead. Going down this rabbit hole of trying to find out why DSTV is allegedly in free fall and why they love repeating shows and movies led me to the most powerful company that no one seems to be talking about. It's like the company didn't even exist until I started looking around for answers. This company owns MultiChoice, Take a Lot, even the huge media company News 24 belongs to them. If you haven't guessed who the chairman of this company is, it's the one and only Koos Becker. Yes, Koos Becker, who appears on my video about the super rich individuals who control the country, that Koos Becker. So what led me to this company called Naspers? It was a Tuesday morning. I was still conflicted on which topic to choose from the community post, asking you guys to list some interesting ideas that I can do in the future. So I got intrigued by a comment saying I must check out DSTV because one thing has always annoyed me about this company. DSTV loves to repeat shows and movies. Love with a capital letter L. Repeating shows and movies can have one key explanation from my personal standpoint, wanting to make as much money as possible. Buying the licenses to air these movies and TV shows on stations can be very expensive, especially if you're a big company like Naspers or another famous case like Netflix a few years ago. But to also remain unbiased, another reason for repetitions is to allow people to catch up on previous episodes they made.
Okay, so Nespa.
Naspers.
Nespa is a company and it controls everything.
It's one of these. Okay, Koos Becker is one of the richest people in South Africa by far. His business enterprises everywhere, telecommunications, multimedia, this and this and this and this and that. And if you think about it, bro, why would anybody want to monopolize on these things, right? Especially something as fundamental as, well, fundamental now, as entertainment value.
Okay, I don't know. You tell me.
The way I see it is, many times we're not just entertained, we're informed.
Okay.
Be it directly or indirectly,
Indirectly, yes,
we
yes,
are
yes.
informed.
Yeah.
And it has always been my view. I mean, I'm not the first to say it, but knowledge is power.
It's
Bro,
power.
you can get little nuggets of information in the most random of places ever. In cartoons and stuff, you learn new words, you learn new things, blah, 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 blah. You are building a vocabulary, you're building a personality. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, if you're taking that away from people by monopolizing an industry and giving you what we want you to learn,
Yes.
you're doing two things. If you look at it from a far less extremist point of view, you are, as this guy said, you're dumbing down information, right? To get people to subscribe even more and be wanting to get a bigger a glance of what you got to offer, right? You're dumbing down information so that, in a way, you're making these people less and less conscious that, look, the quality here isn't that great, but let's get used to it, right? You're dumbing down the quality at the same time. If you look at it on the far right, it's basically just like low-key societal programming, bro.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm getting from you. Okay, no, but that's dark.
Inside this black circle, based on the average yearly salary here in South Africa, it would take you 3 years to make 936,000 rands. Few thousand rands shy from 1 million rands. That sounds like a big amount, right? It is 1 million rands after all. Well, this is how your 3 years worth of hard work, sweating and tears looks in comparison to the amount of money Patrice Motsepe is worth. Yes, all these black circles each represent 1 million rands. The wealth of South African billionaires is just mind-blowing. You'll be amazed to find that all these men are on the Forbes list of the wealthiest people in Africa. It may sound like bitterness, but 90% of us, as the people in South Africa, come from relatively poor backgrounds. My parents never cared about billionaires because they were too busy trying to make ends meet in our lives. When it's time to vote, everybody will just vote for ANC because they are afraid if change happens, then what if it happens for the worst? This is not just my story, it's not just your story either, but it's the story of many people living in South Africa. Whether Whether you are a foreign national or a citizen, most of us share the same story. So let's go on this journey together and try to find the answers. Where is all the wealth going, and why does less than 5% of the population hold 80% of the country's wealth? Yes, you heard that right. They hold 80% of the country's wealth.
What's the possibility that if, let's put this, we jumping to the racial part of things, yeah, since we touched on that point. What's the possibility that they would want a certain masses to be informed and to be somehow, what can I say, indoctrinated, yeah? Programmed, societal indoctrination with a certain specific message? What's the possibility?
The possibility could be quite high because Naspers wants to make money, right? That's their thing. If them selling you the same old tired show again and again and again and again and again is going to capture attention and make them money, great.
Yes.
Whether or not they want to program you to think a certain type of way or behave a certain type of way or get used to routine is up for debate. We don't know. However, if they did want to do that, I'd say they've pretty much done a good job, because a lot of the things that we do is like routine without even thinking about it, right? The TV dinner, for example. I'm going to go home, sit down, I'm going to scroll through a few channels, watch something, and there's a chance that this is habit. I do this again and again and again and again and again. If you're looking at it in a competition point of view, let's look at the inequality thing. If we want to be a unicorn, we need to make sure that there are no other unicorns, or there's no potential for people wanting to develop unicorns or even rising to the level of becoming unicorns. So we're slowly beating you into submission and giving you a complacent lifestyle, feeding you second grade program. Yes, you can upgrade if you want, but chances are, even if you upgrade, you depend on us still. So you're still making me rich by distracting yourself. And in that, basically, I'm getting rich as Naspers. So I'm going to feed you this thing, whether or not it's to program you, that's up for debate, but to distract you, definitely. Take away something from you, definitely. Let's put it in your face, and the best part is that's all we need to do, and that's going to make us money anyway.
Okay. Wow. See, so now this is getting a bit darker. Because Chris, what are the chances that, okay, we've all watched DSTV. I don't remember when last I watched. It's been years. But what are the normal programs there? Are they to let the masses, enlighten the masses on maybe finances and all that, or is just down to entertainment and to keep you entertained and busy?
It's to keep you distracted, bro. Not to diss DSTV at all, because there are some things I watch. I'm a sports fan, so I watch sports more than I watch anything on TV, on YouTube, anyway. I watch a lot of sports. Football, to be specific, right?
Yes.
But there are programs that you don't, like, you sit down and you watch it and you're like, what's the point of watching this? Like, why am I actually watching this? What do I get from this? And then when you take stock of it, it's like, well, nothing much. It's a time waster, right? It's something to pass the time with.
It's entertainment.
It's entertainment, but it's not that entertaining. It could be better. I'm just saying, like, legit.
Yeah.
It's not terrible, but at the same time, it's not really like, wow.
It's not really enlightening.
It's surface level entertainment.
Because, bro, this is my theory, and believe it, conspiracy or not, personally, I felt it's more to keep people poor. If we can keep you distracted on one thing, yeah, we can monopolize on a lot.
True.
Essential stuff.
True.
While we keep you guys busy, entertained, watching Kim Kardashian and all that, guess what? We are learning about money and how money works. We're learning this game so that we can manipulate it and it becomes our playing field.
There it is.
Personally, that's how I feel. And I think they've literally done a good job.
Spot on, man, because it's not, if you go away from DSTV, look at things like Google, bro. Let's say you open a new Google account, fresh, right?
Yes.
Fresh Google account. There's a news feed on Google.
Okay.
But one thing that's shocking is that many times your news feed is going to have things like gossip, celebrity news. There'll be something to do with online shopping. There'll be entertainment and stuff, which every now and again, yeah, you can click on the online shopping thing. Take a lot of some really cool deals every now and again.
Yes.
I don't know why I name dropped them. Free advertising.
Yeah.
Right now. So it even happens, even though the algorithm learns about your feed, right? So my feed, for example, there's news
Yes.
on the environment, because that's something I care about quite a lot. I read about that at length. There's news on business, there's news on money, there's news on many different things. Current affairs are there, right? There'll be a cool post about food or a recipe that I might have looked at. Obviously, alcohol is there, but then every now and again, you'll find something that's random and you're not even thinking about it. But this random thing is so interesting. It's the most interesting thing on your feed, bro. Not to say that I'm not interested in the stuff I like, but it's juicy. Like, it's well captioned. It's like you can't miss it almost. Because you can always be like, okay, I can read about this later. I can read about this later. Let me see if I can find it.
Then boom.
Then boom.
It's
like,
there. Why do you think that is?
Don't know why they do that, bro.
Do you think it's because, like he stated in the video, they feed you with low quality stuff, then they present a high quality? We gravitate towards it. Not that it's beneficial to us. It might just be entertainment, but
Could be.
yeah, but it's just there. It's new. Then they feed you. Don't you think that's programming? Like, again, it's part of programming.
It's basically programming. It's a process. It's a process. It's a loop.
And jeez, let's talk a bit on the gap.
The inequality.
Back to the gap, the gap.
The inequality is scary, bro.
Over 12 million South Africans live below the average poverty line. That's as millions depend on social grants, while even more households don't have an income at all. Poverty has also been identified as a pandemic by academics and social activists.
It's terrible how unequal we are as a society in Joburg. Let's not even say South Africa. Joburg, right here, man. It's bad. But I watched the video on YouTube explaining how bad it is, whereby you can have a place that contains or is worth billions of dollars and a place that is so far below the breadline it basically shouldn't exist, existing within touching distance of each other. And these people, chances are, interact with each other one way or another, right?
Yes, that's true.
Yeah, we might use, we won't use the same amenities, that's for sure. But on the street somewhere, some guy who lives in Alex, who works in Sandton, might bump into the CEO of Sasol or something. Might never know who he is, but my point is, the inequality is bad already as it is. It's getting worse because we've got very high rates of unemployment.
Yes.
And now you are getting the ultra and mega rich not wanting to do anything about it. And if anything, wanting to make it worse. So that, I don't know if they're aware of it or not, that gap gets bigger and bigger and their pockets grow as well.
You know, when you play the money game, you are aware of what you're doing.
What you're doing.
And you don't actually give a flip.
You do. Well, you don't most times.
Yeah, you don't actually give a flip about someone else because it's all about you. Yeah. And I don't know. I just don't know, because the one that gets to suffer, it's our race that gets to suffer in all this the most.
Unfortunately, bro. Unfortunately, you know what I'm saying? It's like what we said earlier. We have, and this is not just South Africa, this is Africa, political freedom. That's the thing we fought for. Because I think I might have said this a while back on an old video, because it's the struggle that we could physically see. Therefore, we needed to address that struggle and get it done with quickly. And that needed to sometimes, and in many times it did, go through violence, right?
Yes.
And we fought and we got that. Great. The invisible things is what we didn't pay attention to. Okay, fine, we couldn't really because we're seeing a lot of bullshit in front of us. We got to deal with that first.
Yeah.
And now only our generation is like, oh my gosh, bro, the invisible things. Now we're seeing the invisible.
The most essential things.
Now we're seeing it.
Because the whole freedom and independence people really wanted was
what's governance, though?
that's all people were fighting
Pretty
for.
much. We just want to
And
governance.
that's where a lot of them were gathering for. Nothing else, nothing more.
Governance.
But I guess
Wanna
this
be free in my country. That's it.
But I guess the smartest people were gathering for the most essential things that make the world go round, things that get to program people.
Dinero, bro. They went for that. And it's not to say that people of color, there are some who saw that early and they were like, oh, okay, we'll let you guys do the freedom thing. I'm going to go chill with those guys over there and see what's happening. And chances are those guys that did that early are super well off now.
That's true.
Because we're not downplaying the struggles that we faced as a people, as a race, as a society. I mean, those are terrible. However, if you're thinking of a company like Naspers owning the entire media landscape, bro, surely, guys, I mean, I don't want to bring this up. I don't want to be that guy, but it's giving colonialist vibes, isn't it? Except it's like digital colonialism, sort of.
No, it is. It is what else?
I don't want to be that guy because I don't.
Bro, that's what monopolies are.
Yeah,
It's like,
it's the colonizer.
yeah, it's few people and the rest are slaves. The rest are working towards this empire that we're building. So, bro, I think it goes back to this, yeah? You see, I'm even failing to say things, but I think it literally goes back to this. I read a quote that says, people who don't educate themselves or rather don't feed on information today will one day wake up to a world that no longer exists. A world where they can thrive in. A world where they can't survive. They're not competitive enough. They become incompetent. They become slaves. And they're going to work for those who fed themselves with information yesterday. And I guess that's where we are, no?
We are there already. We've been there for a while now.
And
It's about knowledge, man. It's like if these channels, if these media outlets have so much influence on us, I mean, think of you as a young person. These shows that this guy was talking about, they shape our personality. They shape
They did.
who we are in
They
a
did.
big way.
they did. They
If
did.
these shows are being used in that way and then it's being all controlled by one company, bro, they could just as easily create original content like Netflix.
True. They could.
If they wanted to. They've
If
got
they
the
wanted
money.
to, they could.
They got the money, bro. They could do that.
But why are they not to?
Oh, no. They might in the future. They probably will. I think they already have, but they have cleverly disguised it as something else. That's personally what I think. I think these guys aren't that. They're quite slick. They did that already and they found a different way to package it so that it's not too obvious. Because something that's very obvious, especially like you're looking at it with inequality and power and stuff, is ugly. And they do not want to appear ugly. That's the last thing you want to be in business. It's ugly.
True. They want to play it cool still. So, well, in conclusion, personally, I just feel like, I don't know, looking at this, yeah, it makes you weak in your knees. More especially for people that want liberation for our race, they want us to, it makes you feel weak. It reminds me of the same thing that's happening in Congo, where it's like the population itself, the citizens themselves have no say in what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like there are people that can just come and pack up resources, go back to their country, and no one will tell them anything.
And dip, and it's like, okay, whatever.
And I feel here it's happening it's the same thing but different way. So I don't know. The best thing I can say, bro, I don't know about you. The best thing I can say is if I think it's just knowledge. I don't know. That's the best thing I can say. Yeah, personally,
Hey,
bro,
man,
that's it.
I think as a people, we need a bit more than knowledge. I think as a people, we need. I'm not an instigator by any means, but I've said this many times, and I will remain vocal about this. In our lifetimes, right? In my young lifetime, let me say, I've seen some pretty crazy stuff, man. I've seen some crazy shit. I've seen a global recession. I was too young to understand what it meant. Well, I'm seeing another one right now. I've seen 2 global recessions. I've seen a pandemic.
Yes.
I nearly saw World War III multiple times last year.
Yes.
Who's not to say that I'm not going to see a revolution? I don't know. I think I will, personally. Will it be the same extent as revolutions of times gone by where it's blood on the streets and stuff? Maybe not. But regardless, that's how I see that power shift happening. It's got to be a revolution, man.
You think, okay, I understand the revolution, but I think we need to be knowledgeable about it, Chris.
Absolutely.
You see, that's what I meant by, I think we just need knowledge. We need to teach our people, or rather, our people need to be educated on how slowly but surely we can take over. I don't know if you get me.
I get you.
Yeah, like it's like
Totally.
knowledge. If we want a revolution, how do we approach it? Toying and bending down things.
That's not the kind of
It
revolution
won't
I was talking
happen.
about.
So how do we need to do? So we need to get knowledge that allows us to be there and infiltrate the system from within.
Yeah, cultural revolution, intellectual revolution, heck, spiritual revolution if needs be. But regardless, we've gone past the stage of negotiation because you can't negotiate with terrorists. And unfortunately, the very, very, very big guys have presented themselves as such. How can you own everything, bro? Like literally own everything. That's crazy. If that's not, that's bullying at best. But if you look at it in an ugly frame, you could probably say it's terrorism as well, man.
True.
Terrorizing the people, bro.
That's
That
very
ain't
true.
right, man.
That's very true. So, well, guys, yeah, this topic made me sad. Well, guys, I guess that's what we wanted to share with you guys. Please don't forget to leave your comments. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. We really appreciate it. And yeah, we want to grow. That's our objective. And yeah, let's grow. So we'll be seeing you on the next one.
Peace.
Ciao.